I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Y'all killing me with this Storm 5. Y'all killing me talking about we need a new Naruto Storm game. We got 7 Naruto Storm games, something like that, bro. From Storm 1, 2, 3, 4 generations, connections, revolutions, bro. It's enough Naruto Storm out there to be played. We don't need them to focus on another Naruto Storm game. We need them to move on to the next Naruto game. A different genre, a different engine, something new, spice it up. We don't need a Naruto Storm 5. All right, y'all, man. So let's do it, bro. Let's give the rundown on Storm as a series, as a franchise, bro. Because of recent conversations, man, with the CC2 announcement and the whole fiasco that was, with the conversations going on before the announcement, the conversations going on after the announcement was revealed, and some of the conversations that's been taking place since they revealed the announcement. Now, if you don't know, CC2 had teased this announcement probably like since the beginning of January. They were coming out with something big for the 30th anniversary for CC2. Now, on base level, a lot of people are like, oh, they're coming out with a new Storm game. It's gonna be new. Or a lot of people were just hoping for a new Naruto game. A lot of people was talking about the JJK game due to some information or some quotes that were put out, and people kind of jumping the gun all over the place. But no, they announced, an original CC2 title, which is they're bringing back their Hack series. Now, I don't know too much about Hack. I'm not gonna go into that, but it led to a lot of people being upset, saying they should have dropped the next Storm game or JJK Storm. And I just think this whole conversation about us needing another Storm game, or this whole notion that there needs to be another Naruto Storm game or Storm clone in general, is literally holding back Naruto games, bro. But first things first, let's give credit where it's due, bro. The Storm series was and always will be revolutionary. It's always gonna be iconic, bro. Storm is what it is. I'm not a Storm hater by no means. I love Storm, bro. Storm got me into anime gaming. Storm played a big part for me even watching anime, like in general. You know what I mean? Like, so, I'm the first person to tell you how great Naruto Storm is. But with that being said, I do think it's time to move on. When Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm launched, it damn near changed anime games and how they were kind of conceived, right? Before anime games, you mostly had like clunky arena fighters. They was kind of low budget, and they was like fan service heavy, but kind of dull at the same time. Then you get Storm, and Storm kind of popped on the scene, right? With like cinematic anime cutscenes and huge boss battles and like the nice looking cel shaded graphics. And you had the ability to play through the entire story of Naruto, which was dope, bro. And for the time, it felt like playing the anime. And for years, bro, literally years, it was peak and the formula worked. But the only problem with that is it never evolved as a series. And when I say, let me take that back. I'm not gonna say it never evolved. It definitely evolved. But as time went on, bro, the copy and paste started to become a little bit more and more after each release, right? So after Storm 2, after Storm 3, after Storm 4, and then all the spin-offs in between, the formula was modified or changed in between the games. But the basis of the game was the same combat system, right? Sometimes it would be the same story retold again, and then like the same mechanics with kind of tiny tweaks, right? So when you go from Storm 3 to Revolution to Storm 4, it's kind of like if you played Storm 3, you can hop right into any of the other ones, you know what I mean? So by the time the final Storm entries release, a lot of players, I'm not speaking for everybody, but like myself for sure, we kind of felt like we was buying the same game again and again, and just with more characters. And you might not say that about Storm 4 or Revolution or Storm 3 or other games that came before, but with Connections, which is the latest Storm release, I definitely felt like it was one of those copy and paste things where they just add a little bit, you know what I mean? Copy my homework, but just add a little something to it. Because Connections is a glorified DLC if we keeping it a buck, and that's one of the reasons it failed. I don't think Connections was supposed to happen, but it happened. And when it got announced, people were hyped because Storm 4 was confirmed and marketed to be the final Storm game of the series. Storm 4 came out in 2016, and that was supposed to be the end-all be-all right there. And we was okay with that. We was okay with that because, in my opinion, we got a great product. Now, it wasn't perfect on release, But for a Storm game, we had a great product and it introduced a lot of new things. And that was fine, bro. That was fine for a while, right? Like I said, the copy and pasting of the original Storm engine and just adding stuff to it and just, bringing more characters and bringing like slightly different mechanics, or now we bring assist, or now we bring the tag out system. That was fine, but I feel like anime games like kind of were moving on while Storm was still trying to like, rework their formula, kind of re-rock their mix a little bit and just give us something new, but it was still the same basis of the game. And Naruto kind of got stuck in that cycle where they was putting out nothing but Storms. And other anime games was work was on. They was, well, okay, what's our next? Let's go into the RPG section. Let's go into the competitive fighter section. Let's go into a story only game. You know what I mean? And it was like, all right, we got arena fighters. That's cool, bro. We've been having arena fighters for the last 10 years, right? So if you look at modern anime games today, bro, and I just want to compare them with their peers, right? We look at Naruto as the big three, right? You got Dragon Ball. Now, everybody know how Dragon Ball is when it comes to games. They've had Fighter Z, which is a competitive level fighter, right? They have Kakarot. It was done by CC2, by the way. Same development company as Storm, right? A story-driven kind of RPG, single-player experience that, while it was retelling the same story we've all been through 1,000 times, they made it interesting and they made it unique to that actual game. Now, if they can do that with Dragon Ball, but you can't tell me they can't do that with Naruto, bro, because we keeping it a buck. I like Dragon Ball, but the Naruto story, when we talking about the story game, the Naruto story blows Dragon Ball out of the water. It's not even close, right? And we keeping it a buck. And I like Dragon Ball, so don't send no Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball fans, don't slime me out, bro. But it is what it is, and we keeping it a buck, right? So you got these, action RPGs that anime games been experienced with. You have some animes diving into hero shooters, right? You had like Black Clover and even Naruto itself, Shinobi Striker. We're gonna talk about the hero shooters in a minute. Level up, or branched out, or at least attempted to branch out. And when I'm talking about Naruto, I can compare it to his peers because that's what it is. Like when we talk about Dragon Ball and how they have all these games, like Dragon Ball's got a MOBA, they had a competitive fighting game, they had like a story action RPG type game with Kakarot. Like you still got Xenoverse going strong. They had a new arena fight. That's like 5 different categories of games for one IP alone from the time Storm 40 came out to now, where it's like, oh, if you ain't rocking with this, maybe you rock with this one, maybe you rock with this variation. You know what I mean? It's not just here go your arena fighter and call it a day. And for some anime, some smaller IPs, I can 100% understand that. But for Naruto, it should be up there with Dragon Ball. It should be kind of going back and forth as far as putting out different stuff, and it's just not. And I think the reason for that is because we got stuck in the Storm cycle. So you got all these different titles from all these different IPs, bro. Well, like I said, they either attempted to level up or branch out, or they did, but at least the effort was there, right? So while we kept getting the same Storm, rinse and repeat, the gap kept getting bigger between all these different games, right? And obviously, when it come down to 2026, bro, having arena fighters is just not enough anymore, right? It's just not enough to just have that. A bigger IP is Naruto, and that's the only thing you really got that's accessible on console at a enjoyable level, or it's something that the fans can, actually enjoy. It's just an arena fighter. It's not gonna do it, bro. And especially an arena fighter that's been working off the same engine for the last 10, 15 years with just minor tweaks and stuff. You're still putting that out now. They came out with a whole new something different. That's one thing, but this is still, based off the, let's say, I'm not gonna say it's the same engine or formula as the very first Storm, but definitely between Storm 3, 4, Revolution, Connections, all that stuff, it's kind of in the same boat, like as far as the basis of the game. And the Storm formula itself relies heavily on nostalgia. You know what I mean? So reliving the story of the anime story, it worked when the anime was still airing, right? Or when we haven't replayed the story 10 times already. But now, most Naruto fans know the story inside out, from what's available on the manga, what's out in Boruto, to Blue Vortex. Like we know that. You know what I mean? So it just, that stuff don't work. Reliving the whole story, that stuff don't work. So now we need something we can play. We want new gameplay styles, right? Something different, a different feel to it, bro. Deeper progression systems, online features that last more than a month, or that just don't come out on release and are unplayable, bro. I don't know if I remember, Storm Connections was damn near unplayable online for like the first 2 months if you had Xbox. Now, getting on Xbox, I understand, right? That's, you just why you getting an anime game on Xbox, whatever the case may be. But still, bro, it was unplayable. Like, you literally would not match up with anybody, bro. You couldn't play online for like the first 2 months, and they were like ghost about it, right? So, having a game come out in 2023 and the online features are just cracked or just, I don't even think Storm Connections had lobbies where you can invite people to play matches on release. Like, how crazy is that? Like, this is all features that Storm has had in the past, bro. This isn't something new we asking them for. This is all. So I'm saying that to say this, bro. If they can't get this right, time and time and again, bro, or what's the point? Let's just go on to something else. I'm thinking, bro, the Storm franchise, bro. And like I said, I love Storm. It's maxed out. It's literally maxed out. This is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to go in the comments and tell me, bro, what could CCC2 do to modify or to add to Storm 4 or Storm Connections or Storm in its current state to justify an entire new addition to the franchise, bro, a Storm 5. What could they do? Storm 4, they gave us the tag system, right? You could switch off between the entire team and, tag in and tag out. That was new to the entire Storm series. That was lit. We rocked with that, okay? And we was cool with that. Then Connections came along, and then they kind of updated the combo system, like how you could pick up at the Jutsus or follow up at the Jutsus or different, attacks and stuff like that. And okay, we was interested. We didn't really know how it was gonna play out, but we was interested. And there was a lot of flaws in some of the other stuff they had going on, like the armor Jutsus and all that, but we was a little interested, right? So now you got that out the way. You got your combo extenders in the attack. What else could they do to the combat, to the actual game mechanics? Because story's washed. The story's washed, right? I don't think Boruto holds enough weight from what's been adapted in the anime currently to, say, if we're gonna have the whole new story mode is gonna focus on Boruto. So I think if they would have did that, they would have did that with Connections, but they came out with some new original story kind of thing with the I forget the two the fake Sharingan dudes and all, and that, it was lame, bro. It was lame, bro. I like the idea, but it was lame. It was whack to me, bro, in my opinion. Like, and they have to try to have Naruto and Sasuke fight again as the adult version, bro. I know CC2 can make anything still look kind of nice with their cinematics and all. It was lame, bro. If I gotta keep it a buck. So I just think the Storm series maxed out on potential, bro. Unless y'all can just and that's why I said go in the comments, because I want y'all to provide to me like some actual genuine modifications or additions they can do to justify a Storm 5, a new entry into the series, a full price video game, right? That's not gonna ruin the legacy of what Storm is, because Connections was already crappy. And I love Connection. I still play to this day because it's Storm, right? At the end of the day, it's still Storm, but it was crappy. It was crappy on release. It's gotten better, but it kind of stained like the good feeling we had on how Storm 4 was going out on its high horse. And then they came out with Connection thinking it was going to be an upgraded version. It's not upgraded from Storm 4. I think it's worse than Storm 4. I'm keeping it a buck. But it is what it is. So, if you don't want to have two of those back to back. So when the product is getting worse, right? And you look at what the success that Storm 4 had, and you look at the success that Connections had, bro. If you're dropping and the quality of the product as you modernize it, I think it's time to move on. Because at that point, you're just getting worse and worse. You know what I mean? They came out with a Storm 5 and it was worse than Connections or worse than Storm 4. You like, bro, they just going downhill spiral. So it's time to start from scratch, is what I'm saying, and give us something new in its entirety. I'm just like, with Naruto, you can do so many things. You can do an open world ninja RPG. You can do, a co-op mission system game like Destiny or something, bro. Or, the Naruto world got so many different aspects in it as far as like exploration, customization, progression. Like you can have a long-term gameplay. Even if you want to do a Kakarot clone, I'm anti-Storm clone, but if you want to do a Kakarot clone and take some elements from that and kind of just, you know, revolutionize it to Naruto, have a Naruto, like kind of story-driven, action-focused game, bro, in the Naruto world, hey, lock me in, bro. Lock me in, and yeah, you feel me? Like, so it's like, why do we keep begging for the next Storm game when there's so many different things we can do, bro? And I think as fans, we gotta actually demand that, because if we keep saying Storm, we're gonna be stuck in the same Tsukuyomi we've been putting in for the last 10, 15 years. So to bring me to my next point, bro, why moving on is actually good, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. It might sound bad, but it's true, bro. Moving on from Storm does not mean I'm disrespecting it, right? I love Storm for what it is and what it was, bro. It means Naruto is just ready for his next evolution when it comes to games. Naruto is just ready for his next phase when it comes to video games, bro. And I feel like everybody should be able to agree with that. I feel like I'm not tripping here. Maybe I am. I feel like I'm not tripping, bro. Storm 4 came out 2016, it's 2026. It's hard to even count connections, bro, because that felt like just a modernized DLC. So, I don't know, bro. Y'all let me know, bro. You know what I mean? I can't be this tweaked out. So the real question is not, will we get another Storm game? Is what kind of Naruto game should come next, right? So let me know in the comments what your dream Naruto game would be. Open world, MMO, RPG, something completely new. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more anime gaming content. And I'll see you on the next one. Yo.